Okay, so how do you even keep up with the just the breakneck speed of tech change, especially when you look at creative industries? It really feels like every other day there's something new, right? A new tool, a new controversy. And that's exactly why we do the deep dive. Our mission here is simple. We take your sources, could be articles, research, notes you've sent, and we try to distill the really important stuff. We want to give you a shortcut, basically, to being well-informed without drowning in all the noise. So today, we're diving deep into something pretty significant. It's an admission from Netflix, actually, about using generative AI, AI that actually creates stuff.
Right, not just analyzing data, but making new images, video, text.
Exactly. And our main source here is an article from the Indian Express. Our mission today is to unpack what this one event, Netflix using this tech, tells us about the much bigger shifts happening in film and TV production right now, these sort of seismic changes. So let's get right into it. The big news. Netflix has used generative AI tools for the very first time in one of its original TV shows. And that show, it's an Argentine science fiction series called The Eternaut.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, I think, is that this wasn't buried somewhere. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos himself, he revealed this on an investor call. He called it, and I'm quoting here, the very first Gen AI final footage to appear on screen in a Netflix, Inc. original series or film.
Wow, okay. So they're highlighting it.
Exactly. That phrasing alone tells you it's a big deal for them. It signals pretty clearly a serious, growing adoption of AI by, well, one of the absolute biggest players out there.
Okay, so a major streamer putting AI-generated visuals, actual final footage, as he said, into their own original show. What was the specific thing they used it for in The Eternaut? What does it look like?
So the show's creators, they wanted to depict a building collapsing in Buenos Aires.
Okay, a big visual effect.
A very big visual effect. And Netflix has this in-house VFX studio, Scanline. They have a sort of specialized group within it called Eyeline, focused on production innovation. They partnered with the show's creative team and used these new AI tools to actually create that whole collapsing sequence.
Interesting. And what was the big advantage? Why use AI for that specific scene? What did Sarandos say?
Well, two key things. First, speed. Sarando said this specific sequence was done 10 times faster than it would have been using traditional VFX methods.
10 times. That's significant.
It's huge. But maybe even more important was the cost. He added that the cost of producing it through conventional means would simply not have been feasible for a show with that budget.
Okay. So it's not just faster. It's making things possible that literally couldn't be afforded before.
Precisely. That really highlights the potential draw here, doesn't it? The efficiency, the cost savings. It could unlock scenes, maybe even whole shows that were just too expensive previously.
That is a powerful argument for jumping on this tech. 10 times faster and making the impossible possible financially. I mean, that sounds like a complete game changer for production. But... and there's always a but, isn't there?
Yeah.
We know that not everyone in Hollywood is doing cartwheels about generative AI.
No, definitely not.
This kind of efficiency, it often worries people, especially in an industry that's built on, well, human creativity and craft.
You've absolutely hit on the core tension here. Well, companies like Netflix see the efficiency, the potential, maybe even new creative avenues. The use of generative AI, it's sparked a really, really mixed response. Let's put it that way.
Mixed is maybe an understatement.
Maybe. Critics are really vocal mainly about two things. One, the fear that AI creates stuff by essentially scraping or mimicking existing work without permission, without consent.
Right, the whole data training issue.
Exactly. And two, the very real anxiety that this tech could lead to massive job losses for human creators, writers, artists, CFX folks.
And these aren't just like hypothetical worries anymore, are they? We've seen this tension play out very publicly.
We absolutely have. I mean, look at the 2023 Hollywood writers' strike. AI was a massive sticking point, a huge issue on the table.
Yeah, I remember that being central.
And the agreement they reached, it actually prohibits studios from using AI to write or even just edit scripts that were originally written by a human.
So they're trying to draw lines in the sand?
They're trying. It shows the industry is actively grappling with this, trying to set boundaries, even as the tech itself just keeps racing ahead. It's seen by many as, well, an existential threat.
It's fascinating because it feels like the goalposts keep moving. It's not just tweaking an image or a small effect anymore. We're now talking about AI tools that can generate entire video scenes, right?
That takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
It really does. Tools like OpenAI Sora or Google's VO3, they've definitely turned up the heat on these concerns. These things are being described as capable of generating, Hollywood-quality footage from simple text prompts.
Just type it in, and out comes a scene.
Sort of. Imagine what that means for jobs, for creative control, if that technology becomes truly widespread and, crucially, hard to distinguish from what humans make. It forces us to ask, what does creation even mean then?
It's a really complex picture, isn't it? You've got this promise of incredible efficiency, making things feasible that weren't before, like that eat or not scene. But then you have these deep, deep anxieties about intellectual property, about jobs, about the future of human artistry itself. Netflix seems to be walking a very fine line.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap where we've landed in this deep dive. We've seen the clear draw of generative AI, the efficiency, the cost savings. That eat or not scene, 10 times faster, suddenly feasible.
Right, that's the potential upside.
But that sits right up against these really significant worries inside the industry. Job displacement, creators' work being used without consent, huge concerns. And that reaction, it's not uniform, it's very mixed, very palpable. You mentioned the 2023 writers' strike AI was right at the heart of it. That led to a specific agreement trying to limit AI's role in writing and editing human scripts.
Setting some guardrails.
Trying to. And then you throw in powerful new tools like Sora from OpenAI, Google's VO3.
Yeah.
Tools that promise Hollywood-quality footage from text. Well, the whole conversation about job security, what creative work even is, that's just going to get louder, isn't it?
No doubt. And yet, from Netflix's side, you have Ted Sarandos being quite deliberate, saying their use of AI won't interfere with their commitment to telling great stories. It feels like they're trying to thread a needle, grab the efficiency benefits, without completely spooking the creative community they rely on.
Which leads us to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to really mull over. Think about this. If one scene, this collapsing building in Buenos Aires for the Eat or Not, if that marks the first official use of generative AI final footage for a giant like Netflix. And we also know Netflix has plans for things like interactive AI-powered ads by 2026.
Right.
What does that trajectory suggest to you about the future landscape of all creative industries, really? How do you see this balance shifting between human creativity and AI efficiency? And what new questions does that force us to confront? About intellectual property, sure, but also about artistic intent, and maybe even about what we mean by original content itself. Where does that line get drawn in the future?